Hi everyone, I am Bas, Head of Product at Avisi Apps, and welcome to the Masterclass, How to Track Time in the Most Efficient Way. Today we are tackling a topic that impacts everyone in any organization, time tracking. Why, you might ask? Well, time tracking isn't just about logging hours. It's about truly understanding how we use our most valuable resource and using that knowledge to work smarter, prevent burnout, and make better decisions. Whether you're leading a team, managing a project, or simply aiming to stay organized, time tracking can become a true asset. We'll be covering a few key areas. We'll cover how to make time tracking easy and accurate so it feels natural rather than a chore. We'll explore how to read the data, because it's one thing to log time, but another to turn it into real insight that guide decisions. And lastly, I'll share some tips on making time tracking a smooth part of your team's workflow, without anyone becoming what I like to call a lazy time tracker. With these points, you'll see how time tracking becomes the asset that brings clarity, efficiency, and balance into your day-to-day. At first glance, time tracking sounds pretty straightforward. But when done right, it's an incredibly powerful tool that offers amazing value. First off, it becomes crystal clear how long specific tasks take. This lets you make informed choices on where to allocate your resources, whether it's cutting time on low-value tasks or investing more in high-impact areas. Imagine a project that consistently runs over budget. We've all been there. Accurate time tracking reveals exactly where the overruns happen. This allows you to ask the right questions. Are we allocating enough time? Or might we need a bigger buffer in our planning? Accurate data leads to better project decisions. Second, when tracking their time, people start taking ownership over it. It's easier to spot distractions or efficiencies when they can see where their hours are going. In a team setting, this visibility keeps everyone on the same page. For example, if one person is working extra hours to meet a deadline, it's clear to the entire team, so others can pitch in or adjust their own efforts to support this person. This sense of shared responsibility is especially important for leaders. When they track their own time, it shows that everyone is accountable, sending a message that time tracking is about building trust and working efficiently together, not about micromanaging. Leaders set the tone, and by modeling this, they make it easier for the whole team to follow suit. Thirdly, it is crucial for accurate billing and budgeting. This is a massive one for anyone in client services or project management. You want to be precise when billing clients, and having time tracking data allows you to avoid both underbilling and overbilling. For internal teams, it also makes budgeting easier. If a project phase consistently takes more hours than expected, time tracking reveals that trend, allowing you to adjust budgets realistically. This ensures resources are properly allocated, avoiding wasted time and money. Finally, tracking time can actually protect your well-being. Sounds counterintuitive? Well, think of it like this. Time tracking helps you notice patterns that lead to burnout. For example, if a team member is consistently logging extra hours, it's often a sign that their workload might be out of balance. A manager can step in here, maybe by reassigning some tasks or offering support on priority setting, so that person doesn't feel like they're carrying all the weight. Sometimes, even a quick chat to discuss what's on their plate can make a big difference and prevent things from escalating. It even brings more transparency to performance reviews. There's no ambiguity about where time has been spent, creating a solid foundation for discussions around focus and priorities. Both managers and team members have a shared view of their work, making it easier to address strengths, identify areas for growth, and set realistic goals together. This clarity promotes fairness and helps build trust, turning performance reviews into constructive conversations about development rather than just evaluation. In sum, accurate time tracking is like holding a mirror up to your daily work processes, revealing inefficiencies and areas for improvement. I understand that introducing new tools into your workflow isn't always easy. And at Avisi, we talk to companies daily looking to get the most out of their tools. and we've seen firsthand the challenges that come with adopting a new time tracking system. Bad adoption is a common hurdle, and it often leads to inaccurate data. Understanding why this happens can help you set up for a successful implementation. The elephant in the room is that there's a general resistance to change. Many people see time tracking as an extra chore, something that gets in the way of their actual work. This mindset can be particularly prevalent if the tool feels clunky or disconnected from their workflow. And I already hinted to it earlier, but people can have a fear of being micromanaged. So naturally, some employees might feel like time tracking is just a way for their managers to watch them, leading to a lack of trust and reluctance to use the tool properly. If people feel it's a tool for punishment, they won't engage with it honestly. Inconsistent use can be another challenge if time tracking isn't ingrained in the daily routine. It gets forgotten or filled in hastily at the end of the week, resulting in inaccurate data. And the longer people ignore it, the more difficult it becomes for them to re-engage, creating an even bigger hurdle. Finally, employees sometimes don't see how time tracking benefits them directly, which can reduce motivation to track accurately. For time tracking to succeed, people need to understand how it ultimately makes their workday better. How do you solve these problems? The answer is twofold. Education is one, and the other is tool design. First, employees need to understand the personal benefits of time tracking and how it will help them, not just the company. And second, the tool itself needs to be intuitive with minimal friction. And this leads us to Tracket, the #1 time tracking solution on the Monday.com marketplace. Tracket stands out because it's fully integrated into all Monday.com products, including Monday Service. So you're tracking time right where you're already working. No extra platforms, just everything in one place. The interface is super intuitive. It feels natural and easy to use, so time tracking becomes less of a hassle. And to make it even quicker, Tracket gives you smart suggestions for logging time accurately and efficiently, which takes the guesswork out of it. It also has extensive reporting options that cover billable and non-billable hours across all workspaces, boards, and teams. This gives you a big picture view of how time is spent within your organization. Plus, timesheet approvals are built right in, making it simple for managers to review and approve everything without extra back and forth. On top of that, Tracket offers flexible permissions. You decide who can see and track what, tailoring it to your team's needs. Don't just take my words for it. Let the numbers speak for themselves. Our users track an impressive 2.1 million minutes every day on average. With over 6,000 installs and a 5-star rating, Tracket has proven its value where it matters most. It makes the whole process smoother and more insightful, turning time tracking from a chore into a real asset. With the discussed outcomes and challenges in mind, let me show you how Tracket could integrate into your workflow.
Welcome to the Growth Agency Workspace. If this is your first time seeing Monday.com, then let me give you an ultra-quick tour. On the left, we have a list of all boards and dashboards this workspace contains. A dashboard consists of widgets to visualize data for you to easily digest complex data sets. A board contains groups and items. Each item can contain several sub-items. Growth Agency manages their projects on a board with items for tasks listed per phase. Each task has an assigned owner that's responsible for the execution, and one or more collaborators to work with them on the task. At the end, there's information for the planned effort and the time actually spent on task. The effort planned is provided by the project team during a refinement session, when the requirements and scope are clear. The time spent is provided by Tracket through an automation set up on this board. This automation pushes the total time logged to the respective column of the task when a time entry is created, updated, or deleted. Tracket can be added to Monday's work environment in several locations. The item level provides a quick time entry ability and an overview of time already logged on a task. It's also easy from this position to start a timer. The sidebar app, just like the board view, offers the entire Tracket experience. With a full timesheet available for time trackers, a team tab for line managers to manage time entered by their assigned teams, and a powerful reporting engine that makes quick work of providing those vital insights. Let me show you how easy time tracking can be. Let's open the cadence call item with the client. There's no sub-item attached to the item, and the date is set for today. This task was assigned to the project management category. Tracket's smart suggestion system will detect the category name from the column and suggest it to the user. The category also determines whether a time tracker can add billable time to the entry. Tracket understands many time formats, and you can use the arrow keys to add or subtract time from the entry, making it as easy as possible. Save the time entry, and it's shown in the table below. The total time spent is updated by the automation set up on the board. Let's take a look at how this works from the timesheet view in Tracket. Here, I select the date to which I want to add the time entry to. In the timesheet view, Tracket has no context of the item, so we have to select the project's board and the task I was working on. I can filter the list to only boards I'm subscribed to, and I can filter the list of items to only items I am assigned to. If you're working on a project for a longer period of time, you can pin list options to the top of the list for easy access. All drop-down lists support this feature in Tracket. When I'm done, I can submit my timesheet for approval to my manager. For the sake of this demo, I'll be marking my own homework. As a line manager assigned to this project team, I can review my team's timesheet. I can see how much time was spent to which tasks and how that relates to the individual capacity. When all is well and ready, we should have some nice data to report on how we are doing. Let's see how the sneakers project is moving along. On the project report, I can already tell that something isn't going right, as some tasks are well over the planned effort. We're nearing the end of the budget, and we are only at 42% completion. Looking at the workload, we might have made a misjudgment on the development effort needed to move this project forward. Let's have a look at how the team is doing. Sometimes people log under or overtime. I don't mind that, as long as the bottom line evens out and people are happy and working on what's important. I do keep an eye out for structural under or overtime. I want to prevent a burnout or a bore out as much as I can. Here I can clearly see that one of my colleagues has been structurally logging overtime the last few weeks. That could be a reason to check in with her and see if everything's okay or I need to take something off her plate. Tracket is here to make your life easier and provide you with vital insights on not only the work done and your team's utilization, it's also here to surface signs of unhappy employees and unveil whether you're working on what is important.
Now I know tools can only get us so far. To show you how this all translates into the real world, we've asked customers from around the world what their keys to success were and what they wish they knew before they implemented. We turned these into concrete, actionable tips. Let's dive in. First, begin with the end in mind. Then work your way backward. Gather a few key people and ask, what would success look like? You might hear goals like spotting bottlenecks or better project planning. Write everything down, then prioritize the top 2 or 3 goals. For each goal, define why it matters. Don't settle for the initial answer. Challenge the team to ask the why question a few times for each goal and get the real why. Having these answers will help you create buy-in more easily from people that otherwise criticize tracking time. When you're looking to introduce tracking time, acknowledge that this will be a cultural change you're introducing. Welcome criticism and encourage team members to share any concerns they have, such as worries about micromanagement or privacy. Validate these concerns and reassure the team that time tracking is about data quality, not surveillance. Set a trial period to start the habit without any pressure. During this time, hold regular check-ins to see how it's going. Get feedback and address any emerging issues. Adjust as needed based on the feedback, and don't forget to celebrate small wins, like improved workflow clarity or smoother task planning. At the end of the trial, hold a team reflection to discuss what has worked well and any positive outcomes. Reinforce time tracking as a habit, highlighting benefits the team has noticed, and commit to refining the approach together. Avoid overly detailed tracking. Starting with minute-by-minute tracking will feel tedious and hard to execute. Instead, start tracking by the hour or even half-day blocks. As mentioned in the previous tip, introducing time tracking is a cultural change. Understand that this takes time. Based on feedback, decide if you need to adjust the granularity. If the current level is comfortable and useful, then continue. If more detail is needed, gradually increase it, but keep simplicity in mind. And lastly, when it comes to timesheet approvals, use them as a data quality check, not as a micromanagement tool. We encourage this mindset. Let the team know that approvals are just to keep the data clean and consistent. It's about accuracy over insight, not constant oversight. Remember, if you're using timesheet approvals for scrutinizing personnel, people will not interact with it honestly, and inaccurate data will follow. With these practical tips from the real world, I'm positive anyone is able to make this into a success. So, to bring it all together, here are the big takeaways from today's session. Track time where the work happens. With a native solution like Tracket integrated directly into Monday.com, time tracking flows naturally into your daily tasks. It becomes part of your work rather than just another thing to check off. The closer tracking is to the actual work, the more accurate and valuable your data will be. No guesswork needed. Create a data-driven powerhouse by combining Monday.com and Tracket. When you combine these two tools, the result is powerful. Tracket doesn't just record hours. It feeds into Monday.com's ecosystem, giving you deep insights and allowing for better project management, resource allocation, and overall business intelligence. Lastly, and more importantly, remember adoption of any tool is about people first. When you care about the individual experience and ensure the tool genuinely helps them, accurate data follows. It's about creating a culture where tracking time is seen as a benefit instead of a burden. Thank you for spending your time with me today. I hope I leave you with a clearer understanding of the benefits of efficient time tracking and how to make it work for you. If you'd like to dive deeper into what Tracket can do for you, please visit our website or scan the QR code on screen. And remember, our most valuable resource isn't money or technology, it's time. And at the heart of making the most of that time are the people who drive everything forward. My name is Bas, and you've been watching How to Track Time in the Most Efficient Way.